All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Seth, and together with Jacob, Sam, and Abhijit, I'm excited to talk a little bit about Honeycomb. So our sponsors are Mary's Place Seattle and Starbucks. So Mary's Place Seattle is a nonprofit organization that is helping to provide resources and shelter to vulnerable communities across King County, especially those experiencing homelessness. So their services revolve around prevention, help, empowering, and tracking. Now, unfortunately, since the beginning of COVID, over 22,000 people have been experiencing homelessness every day just in the state of Washington. And this number, I think, is absolutely unacceptable. So when someone is experiencing homelessness, one of the things that they need is shelter, but the list goes on. They may need medical support, childcare, mental health, and also immigration support. And since each family may have like unique needs, it can take up to 45 days for them to find a permanent housing solution. So we have been working with the outreach specialists at Mary's Place because these are the people who have firsthand information and contact with these vulnerable communities. They understand their needs, and they also have an amazing knowledge base on resources. So to walk you through what a day in the life looks like for these outreach specialists, I'll hand it over to Abhijit.
Okay, thank you, Seth. So let us look at their current user experience. First of all, these outreach specialists, they have all the knowledge right now offline. The documents are kept on table. They have the information in form of mails, SMS, and all other details. So the outreach specialist is currently documenting the family needs when they go on the outreach on a piece of paper, and later on they come back home and to their workplace and share the information. So this is a very linear process right now. So what is Honeycomb? Honeycomb basically is trying to bridge the gap between resources and the families. This is completely online and digital platform, which is a collaborative space for them to avoid any information that is scattered in silos. To understand the current user experience that Honeycomb is trying to bridge, now the outreach specialists, as soon as they get information about a particular resource, they can onboard the resource directly on the app. They can onboard the family itself on the application. We have a maps feature that is very comprehensive, and families and the outreach specialists can search the resources on the map at a particular location. They can create a list of resources and directly share the resources with their families via print or SMS or mails. To go through the current strategy, how we approach the solution, I'm handing over to Chief.
So for our research, we used a typical user-centered approach. In our early research, we created a family journey map following what a family would experience when interacting with Mary's Place. We also visited the Mary's Place shelter at Amazon Regrade. We also observed an outreach with a family of 10 who was living out of an SUV. In our primary research, we conducted interviews with the outreach team manager, and we also conducted a focus group interview with the outreach team altogether. And we also collaborated with them to flesh out our family journey map to better understand this process. We combined our notes together, and at this stage, we found a common problem, which was resource information. So they didn't have a single source of truth. Everybody had their own individual lists of contacts, and there wasn't a way to organize these resources based on geographic proximity to a family, which is really crucial for these families. We created a prototype and we ran that through 2 rounds of user testing. In our first round, we found a few labeling issues and a few navigation issues, which we fixed in our second prototype. We also found that our model of representing resource information did not match up with what our resources or what our resource specialists already had in their heads. Our second round of user testing saw much higher task success rates. And so we use this information to better prioritize what features would be most useful for our users. This includes onboarding and enriching resources, viewing resources on a map, adding resources to a resource specialist's own favorites list, creating and managing client information, and also linking up those resources to a specific client and sharing it with them. To speak more on our app itself, I'll hand it off to Sam.
So before the demo, let's imagine a scenario. Many space specialists are in the middle of an outreach with a family of 5 living out of an SUV parked at the church in the Belton area. Upon arriving, the family expresses that they need help finding several resources like employment, transportation, food, and childcare. So let's see how Honeycomb helps. And what you will about to see is a fully functioning LS app.
When I open the Honeycomb app, I'm welcomed to a home page that shows my recent activity. I can head over to the List tab to view all of the verified resources on Honeycomb, and even favorite some of them for quicker access. But let's go ahead and try to find resources closer to this family. We know they're located in Belltown, so I'm going to head over to the map view. Here, I'm going to pan over Belltown or type in an address at the search address bar on the top. And now we can start filtering around the resources that they require. For example, we know that they need resources around employment, translation, food, and childcare. I can hit apply, and now I see a more condensed list of resources tailored to their needs. I'm going to tap on one of these and go into them. We can see that this one provides food and community services with breakfast offered every Sunday, 7:45 to 9 a.m. I can see their contact information and also where they're located. If I want to share this with a family, I can go ahead and tap on the plus client button. Here I can see all of the different families that I'm working with, and you can see that Belltown family is already up there. And because I started this list before I left for an outreach, I can tap on this client, and now this resource is part of their profile. Now if I want to share this resource with them, I can simply head over to the clients section, tap on Belltown family, and here I'm able to see more information on the family and all other resources I added on the past. I can either print this resource out ahead of time or even share this resource with the family's head of household, either using SMS or email. When I open the Honeycomb app, I'm welcomed to a home page that shows.
So this is the system architecture of our model solution. Basically, all our source code is written with Google Flutter framework on Dart programming language. For backend, we adopt Google Cloud Services as they provide a tightly integrated Flutter SDK, which helps simplify our system architecture. We adopt Google Maps API for the resource map view and the geocode translation. We use a file store, which is a serverless NoSQL database for its flexibility in terms of cost and the data model. For user management, we use file-based authentication as they provide ready-made functionalities such as email registration and the password validation. To enable our programmers to develop in parallel, we separated the UI modules from the backend APIs, which made our integration quite smooth. And I will hand over to Steve about the business opportunity.
So it's important to remember that what we have built today with Honeycomb is a foundation for additional capabilities for Mary's Place. So we hope that this can serve as a successful playbook for other organizations in King County or even beyond Washington State to implement these kind of applications. As far as the future is concerned of Honeycomb, we're thinking in the time frame of 2 to 3 years. So right away, we would like to see things like different user types so that there's a public-facing view and a Mary's Place-facing view. We would also like to see deeper connections from Mary's Place to organizations such as 211, Crisis Connections, and Emerald City Resource Guide. And over the next 18 months, we want Mary's Place to utilize the data in the application to make more organizational changes and decisions. And finally, we would like to also leverage AI tools, for example, inputting a family's profile and having recommended resources for them. I'm really proud to say that we're going live with this with Mary's Place later this month. And I'd like to take a moment to just thank everyone that's involved in this process. It's been awesome. Thank you.
Excellent. So again, any questions or comments from the audience and online, please put your questions or comments in the chat. You can pay Sean to ask.
What a great tool for Mary's Place and others. Congratulations. Well, it's a compelling solution. What are your thoughts on how this would, whether it was you or somebody else, continue to develop, upgrade, upkeep? Is there a model by which, well, what's the financial sort of expectation to keep this sustained? And as you say, maybe in the future are available to other organizations outside of Washington State.
I think what we've been seeing is a lot of these organizations are already quite busy with doing what they're doing. So in terms of like the scalability, what we want to see is them using some of the donations that they get from large corporations into projects like these. And the real challenge for projects like these is just getting from the 0 to 1. And as long as they have that foundation, they can continue to build it using their limited resources. But yeah, I think that hopefully this can serve as like a good starting point for them.
So to add to Seth, we have already given them a continuity plan, like how much financial needs are required to continue this. We are also writing proper documentation about development, like if they hire a developer after what needs to be done after this, we are giving them everything that is required so they can just start. They don't need to start from scratch. They can continue right after.
That's great. One thing to consider is, funders of organizations like Mary's Place, whether it's Starbucks or others, are often looking to understand the impact, right? And what your tool offers the potential to do is, as you said when you began, the challenge is resources are disaggregated, it's not kept in any one place. This solidifies it. Now actually shows how end users are then accessing those. That's very valuable data. I'm not saying data to be monetized, but data that can then reflect back, to be reported back to a funder, say, oh, we can actually show you the value of your dollars spent to support important social needs like this one. So something to consider as you think about, well, what would be the sort of the value add to a company or other, maybe a foundation that's looking to support initiatives like this.
Thank you.
Thank you, team.
Thank you.
Nice job.